Good evening and welcome from a troubled South Africa for episode 43 of Velospitty Speed Talk. Everything that could possibly go wrong did. Running up to the show, we've got some load shedding in South Africa, and we've just been joined by our Latvian guests. Now, before we get going, Gatis and Jēkabs, good evening. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
All right. Well, I must tell you, this is the last minute connection. We had load shedding in South Africa. This crashed our server. So this necessitated a very, very quick reset to get going with our episode 43, but we will remember the episode for that. Now, Jēkabs and Gatis, before we get going, just some news. Of course, for you guys, the big news, the race is coming up, is the Czech Grand Prix at Loket, and with it, the finals of the EMX 65 and 85. We also have FIM Junior GP and European Talent Cup coming to us from Portimao in Portugal, and we will cover that and give some live stream links. It is the next round of the South African Northern Regions Motocross, and we will have hopefully a live stream link from that as well. But anyhow, that's enough of that. We go back to Latvia with our blue crew and our little lads. So let's start off. We know, I said in the description of the show, there's a lot of talent coming from the Baltic, a lot of good riders from Estonia, and a lot of good riders from Latvia, also Lithuania. But what is your story? How did you start your racing?
I started as a small kid, and the first ride I did 3 years old.
Right.
And I really like it.
All right. Now, you really liked your motocross. How did you start? Was there motocross in the family? How did you find interest in the sport to start with?
I don't remember because I don't remember.
All right. Now, you started with the motocross and then you started riding, I guess, with something, either an Osset or a Pee-wee or something like that. And when did you start actually racing?
I started 5 years old. That was my first competition, and I won it.
Oh, all right. You won your first competition. That's a pretty good start, Dad. So that took you as well, right?
Yeah. I lapped the second place.
You lapped second place, my word. Okay, now that is a properly decent start. And can you remember where this race was? At which track?
At Marpe.
Marpe. Okay. Yeah. So as you know, I have some connection with Latvian riders. Of course, I worked with Matis Karo before. He was in my team. I've seen quite a lot of the Latvian countryside. Okay. So you raced in Latvia, and did you soon start racing in Estonia as well? Or did you stay in Latvia for some time first?
First years I stay in Latvia, but next year, no. Next year I started Adrenaline Arena at Estonia, and there wasn't really great results.
Yeah, Adrenaline Arena, that's a great concept. It was created by Peter Poldaru. I actually was at the Adrenaline Arena the day that it opened, which I guess was before you were born. Or maybe, I don't know. Which year were you born?
2011.
2011. Yeah, that's more or less the year that the Adrenaline Arena opened. So I was there when you were still very, very, very small. I hadn't made the whole shot yet. Okay, so you rode in the Adrenaline Arena, which is more supercross, and you say it didn't go too well then. But then, when did you start with international racing, competing internationally?
I think I started at 8 years old, and that wasn't pretty good results. But at Latvia, I was pretty good results. I
Yeah. All right. So in Latvia, you had good results, but internationally, not yet. When you say internationally, was this just Estonia or also Finland and Nordic countries?
no, I hasn't ride at other countries.
I see. All right. And then,
Big
right. And then you, sorry?
Last year we start ride the mix qualifiers. It was first time in Ukraine, in Lithuania, Estonia, and Poland.
All right. So yeah, that's some travels, Ukraine, also Estonia, Poland. How did your qualifiers go last year in the EMX?
Uh, it was pretty good because there was bigger, bigger. No, older riders, and
Yes.
it was pretty hard to get good results.
Yeah, and but of course you build your all the time. You build your confidence and you build your skills. And now talking about skills, before we go further, we spoke before, Dad and I, about the Reisulis brothers, Jonas Martins and Kaspars Alberts Reisulis, and you share a trainer with them. Is that correct?
Yes.
Or, so tell us a little bit about your trainer.
Uh, I started training to Roberts when second year I started 65, and it was much, I think, gooder than last.
Yeah, you have somebody like Roberts Just. He's really experienced. I told Dad I know Roberts and Augusts when they were little boys like you, when they were riding. But now, of course, he's a successful trainer. And if you train with Reisulis, you know you're training with the European top because they have both won heats in EMX 1 to 5. Jonas Martins is still very, very young in that class, and he's won some heats and overall podiums. So great results for them. When you train, which tracks do you normally use? Is there any specific track that you like to use?
No, I always is other track or maybe 2 times in one track.
All right, 2 times maybe in the one track, so you have some variety. Now, you have Latvia has some sandy tracks, although Jēkabs is now almost hard pack. It's only loose sand on top. Do you have a favorite kind of track, hard pack or sand? What do you prefer?
My favorite track at Latvia is Jēkabs.
Yeah, I thought so. Many people like Jēkabs. Is Limbaži still there, that track?
Yeah,
But we've never been there.
Oh, yeah, I wrote, when I had a team, I had a Grand Prix team, but before my riders were young, we did European Championships. And we had one race there, and there were some interesting stories there, and Limbaži, and also the mosquitoes that were big. They were like mix coming to take you away. I remember when we came for technical control, they gave you the transponder, they gave you the papers, and they gave you some liquid for the mosquitoes, and they said there's a reason for this, and we discovered that also. Okay, now this year with the European Championships, it went well. You made the finals, and now you're on the way to the finals to Loket in Czech Republic. So how do you feel going towards the EMX 65 final?
I feel really good because this is first time, and if I stand on a podium, this will be really good.
Yeah, and you say standing on the podium, and you won't be new from Latvia. I remember Junior World Championships. The first time it was called Junior World Championship and not Junior World Cup. It was won by a Latvian, Ivo Steinbergs. I don't know if he's still around. Then you had Matas Karo. He was Junior World Champion. Pauls Jonass. He was double Junior World Champion. Edward Binsans. He was, I think, double European Champion. So there's a lot of your countrymen that performed well at this level. When you were young, growing, getting into the sport, beginning, was there any of these riders that were good examples to you, riders that you felt were you looked up to?
Yes, and now it's
Which rider do you like most from the Latvian riders?
Pauls Jonass.
Pauls, yes, of course. So there's Pauls Jonass, and of course Pauls has been doing really well this year in the MXGP class as well. And then apart from Latvian riders, other nationalities in Europe and in America, which riders do you like?
I actually don't know because I'm looking for my career.
Yes, that's a very, very clever answer. That's the answer of a rider that wants to push himself. You look for yourself. That's the perfect answer. All right, now what do you know about the track at Loket in the Czech? Did you watch some videos of races before and so on? What do you think of the track, and what do you know about the track?
There is pretty big bumps when ride MXGP guys, and there is corners where it's like minus, and
Yes.
then it go pretty slow, and then you can go smoother.
Yeah, that's off camber corners. You're quite right, and there's a massive step down. And then, of course, you mentioned the MXGP guys. Did you ever see an MXGP race before? Did you go to Kechums to the MXGP?
Yeah,
You went.
every
Okay.
year.
Every year. Have you from Texas, right? So how far is that from Kechums?
80 kilometers.
Oh, that's all right. That you can do that. And okay, so you are leaving now for Loket, and you will see MXGP, MX2 in a different environment, not normally like Kechums. And then, of course, EMX 65 and EMX 85. Are there any of the EMX 85 riders in the bigger class that you follow? Because Dad said you're going to move to 85cc next year.
All the time I was looking for Lucas because he was the best rider at Europe, but now I am one of one of them fast.
Yes, and of course, this last weekend was a huge result for you. Now you speak of Lucas Leok. Now Lucas's father Igar stayed in my house when he was a young boy, a teenager, when he was racing with his cousin Tanel. Tanel was in my team for some years, and of course, Tanel has two sons that race as well. But okay, we focus on Lucas. You go to Pernu last weekend, and the qualifying was not so great. I think maybe it was muddy or something. And then we have the two races, two amazing races. So tell us about this weekend.
Uh, uh, at Qualifying was a pretty big mud, and I can't really feel the bike and the track because it was too slippery. But at first race, it was a little bit better condition, and I get a good start, and but Lucas was in front of me, but he crashed at third lap in mud, and I got first place, and
Right. Second race.
second I got a better start. I go second place, and then I passed Aston Alvas, and then I just ride in first place and finished.
All right. Well, it's a great achievement because Lucas Leok is a very special rider, and for somebody to come beat him two races in home soil, that's something special. And I'm pretty sure it's not just me. I think many people around the world, the racing world, took notice of this because Lucas is the EMX 65 champion. He just turned old enough to do the final last year, so he's one of the favorites. And of the other riders, who do you know something about? Because you qualify in regions. You are northeast, but there are also fast riders in northwest, the Finnish riders and the Dutch riders and Belgian riders. So do you know anything about them?
I was in Spain uh, one race, and there was really good riders, but I think this is track them home track, and I
Yes.
think Loket. I think it's not. Uh,
Yeah. Loket is neutral for everybody. Correct. Yes. And
but
yeah, go ahead.
no, I can't.
All right. So you feeling confident going to Loket that it's equal for everybody. The track is the same for everybody. It's not a track that anybody really knows very well. Now that's it. Next year you're going 85. What is the plans? What competitions will you do in the next season?
I don't know. I think first year I will ride Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania. I don't know. I will ride at European.
Right. Yeah, because it's the same as the 65. It's regional qualifiers, so you can do that. Do you think you would do something like the ADAC races in Germany and maybe the Dutch Masters of Motocross, which are two very good series?
Yes, I will, because
Okay.
uh, Willem Hamstra buy me two motorcycles, and tune them.
Yeah,
You
Willem
race in
Hamstra.
the Dutch Masters, I think.
Yes, those are great series. Now, Willem Hamstra is a great, great guy. He just doesn't stop helping. He loves Latvian riders. He has property in Latvia as well. And he's helped so many, many riders, including your trainer. I think when your trainer was young, he's helped so many riders over the years. So, you get a bike and some fireworks. And so then you can do your training. But if you are going to do Dutch Masters and ADAC, this is great preparation for later. Now, speaking of bikes, we see something unusual with you for this class, because you got blue clothes on. And most other riders have got Austrian bikes. So tell us a little bit about your bike situation.
I don't gonna go to Blue Crew because next year I will ride with KTM bike. But now with I started with Yamaha ride because Christoph said he wanted to give me, and that was.
All right. When you say
Jēkabs won Latvia.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you, when Jēkabs won the Latvian championship in the 50cc, then Christoph said, just help us with the bikes. He said you can get the Yamaha bikes and compete with them. So we were very thankful to him, and we are riding Yamaha, and I think Jēkabs doing very well with them.
Yeah, absolutely. When you say Christos, do you mean Sergis?
Yeah.
Sergis was a great sidecar guy. That's another class where Latvians used to absolutely rule. Some years, Sergis and Rasmanis, they used to rule the sidecar. I don't know if you guys follow sidecar racing at all. All right.
It's not so popular in Latvia, no.
Yeah, because now we have it gone back to more the Dutch guys, Bucks, and these guys. But Sergis Rasmanis were legends, absolutely legends in the sidecars. And maybe when you go to the shop one day and you ask him, he will pull the videos out. All right. So next year you make the switch to KTM. This is clear. And you have KTM and Hamstra, and which other sponsors that help you?
I think Moto Favorites will help me. I don't know.
You don't know yet about the
Yeah, it's
sponsors that you know.
Yeah, it's of course it's difficult times to find sponsorships, and racing is not cheap, very expensive, especially for guys like you so far away. And next year, if you want to do ADAC and Dutch, it's big travels. So yeah, that's that. And what is the family situation like? Do you have brothers, sisters, goldfish, a chicken, something like that?
I have a brother, 5 years old, and a sister, 8 years old.
Okay, and do they support your riding a lot?
Yeah, really.
Okay, that's great. And at school, what do your friends say about the riding? Do they support it, and are they proud that you're doing good that you achieving good results?
They actually don't know what is motocross or what is motorsport.
Okay, now you've made a major European final. Is there something in the news about that? Do your local news carry something, the newspaper or the TV or radio? Do they tell a little story about this?
Yes.
Okay, that's good, because that's a way of getting some recognition and getting yourself known and getting the sport to grow. Now, I feel so bad because normally when I interview a rider, I make a video for them, but today everything happened so quickly, I didn't have time to finish it. But what I do say to you is when we come to the Junior World Championships in Vantaa, then I will have a video ready for you that you can watch, And tell me, once you've finished with the EMX races, then your focus goes to Vantaa and the Junior World Championships. What are your thoughts about that? The Junior World Championship in Vantaa in Finland. What do you think about that?
There is a really big sand track at Sigulda, and we will drive all the time at there.
Okay. Before the week before Vantaa, there's another Estonian championship in Tiemetsa. Will you race at this? Will you be at this race?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you will find us there because we're coming with some South Africans to prepare for the Junior World Championships, and we entered for this race in Tiemetsa. So we will have the riders will have a fruit juice with you, and I will have a beer with that. Does that sound like a good plan?
Very nice.
All right, guys, thank you so much. I know you need to prepare, that you need to go and get on the road tomorrow morning to get to Czech Republic. So thank you very much. The interview was great. It will be on my YouTube and on the Youth Force Racing group, the interview, so you can share it. And as I say, next time I see you, I will have a video ready for you. And do you have any final thoughts before you go to your big race at the EMX finals?
Be nice and enjoy the race.
Great. All right, guys. Thank you very much, Jēkabs. It was great to have had you here, and I'm sorry it was such a rush. But we will be in touch, and then we will play you out again with our theme song, and then keep a lookout on the Youth Force Racing page, and I will post the video of this interview there. So with that, until this weekend, it's Tina Snell thanking our guests from Latvia. Very much a hurried program, and it went quite well for it. And we will speak again over the weekend.